Well, we're back here at the Cave of Science in the Hall of History, and we're going to take a look at beginning of school year, how we're taking notes off the lectures, which the vast majority are going to be their videos and done on your own time. But we're going to be using the what is called the interactive notebook. This PowerPoint specifies it talks a lot about history, but anytime you see the word history, just change it to science. The procedure for the notebook holds true for no matter what subject area that you're taking notes in. Well, really the big thing here is an interactive notebook. Really, what's going to happen? You are going to personalize the notes you're taking. One page is going to be, think of your typical note style when you take notes, but then the page, and this is going to be on the left hand side as you open up your notebook, is going to be how you interpret the notes. And as we go through this PowerPoint, we'll give you some ideas of how that's going to go. Uh, First of all, why even a notebook? You can read here, organization is the key. You get into high school, it's time management and organization. Also with the interactive notebook, a lot of people are gifted artistically, and they can use spatial relationships, drawings, and so forth to interpret what they have learned or what they observed in the lectures. And so interactive notebooks really give you a shot to do this. What we're trying to do is just get rid of these notebooks. They're just, as it says here, just repositories of information. Just, you write what the teacher says verbatim or what occurs in the lecture verbatim, and it's like, okay, these are pretty boring. Or actually, when you start doing the interactive notebook, you become a little more active learner in your note taking. The interactive notebooks is really your personal style. You can use cartoons in here, timelines. Typically, I would suggest you do these with the interactive side of it with colored pencils. And with these colored pencils, some people over the years I've seen are great with their drawings on there. You can use timelines. You can use thinking maps. Really, whatever floats your boat, you can put in on the interactive side. The interactive side is really the visual part of the learning. Again, it talks about political cartoons and some history topics here, but essentially, as I mentioned before, it can be used for science or any other class too. It really forces you to be creative and more of an independent thinker, which is really the big goal of all education. Be creative, be independent, don't rely on your teacher to spoon feed you ideas and concepts as you go through the material. As I mentioned, I would probably stick with colored pencils on this. If you want to get into glue sticks and scissors and that's fine. But from what I've seen the last couple of years, really the colored pencils work well. The problem with colored markers is a lot of times they'll bleed through the page, and it doesn't work too well then. So I would definitely probably stick with colored pencils on this. The thing really in notebooks is be organized, logically ordered. One, just be in sequential order. Things are presented in class in a particular order that follow one thing builds upon the previous material. So again, you want to do these in sequential order, and we'll be numbering our notebooks. And again, it says better understanding of history. You can change that word to science, mathematics, social stuff, well, whatever you'd want to put in there. Essentially, when you look at an interactive notebook, you got the input is going to be on the right hand side as you open up the notebook, and we're going to use a spiral bound composition books. The reason I like those, it's pretty tough to rip out the pages. They're relatively inexpensive, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in class. But the input is going to be on the right hand side. The output, which is your interactive part, is going to be on the left hand side. And we are going to use on the right hand side the Cornell note template. There's some other information contained on Moodle on how to use Cornell Notes. Uh, I'll get used to Cornell Note template because that's what's going to be used in many of your classes. On the left hand side or the output side, whatever you want to put in there. However, whatever you decide helps you to remember the ideas that are talked about or described in the lecture. Whatever works for you can be put on the left hand side. The right hand side is really the information I provide. The left hand side, you reorganize that information into some type of creative format, and that's really up to you. The right hand side, again, it's going to be the information that I'm going to give you or any of your other teachers give you. That's the right hand side. You can think of it as your typical note taking. The left hand side gives you another chance to process information. By the time you write the information on the right hand side, you process it on the left. You've seen it, you've heard it, you've pretty much internalized the information that has been presented. I think the key on this is once you finish off the left hand side, there's not a whole lot of studying you have to do when it comes to assessments. And assessments is going to be the vast majority of your grade. And whatever learning style that you like to use can be on the left hand side. Here's what can go in it. If you're good at poetry, it can be, you can write words to a song on the left hand side. It can be a map, it can be a chart when we're doing a lot of charts and graphs. Whatever helps you learn the material or to remember the material, internalize that material, you can use on the left hand side of your interactive notebook. Really, be creative. That's really the key on the left hand side. And again, I'm going to emphasize I would probably stick with colored pencils on this. And again, here's some more reasons. Visual linguistic intelligences. We're trying to appeal with this interactive notebook to multiple intelligences here. And you can go through, read this on yourself. I don't know about the first bullet point. Students are invited to take notes. It's fun. Hey, I've seen some of the diagrams people and they're really creative. I've had some pretty good artists over the years. The third bullet point, rehearsing the information. That goes back to that whole idea. The more you see it, and the more you see it in different forms, the more easier it's going to be for you to internalize with it. And again, it says involved with history, involved with science, involved with mathematics, whatever the topic would happen to be. And again, it's a systematic way to organize, and that's probably the key, especially a freshman in high school, is just being organized. We will have a table of contents, and we will number our pages. Typically, what's going to end up happening is as you open up your book, on the left-hand side it's going to be the odd number, and on the right-hand side it's going to be the even. And we also have a table of contents. Again, it's the organization, and that sometimes is sorely lacking with freshman students. One thing, a lot of again, if you save these at all, it's really a portfolio of what you have done. And if you really put some time into these, students sometimes keep these. A lot of colleges want to see some portfolio of what you're doing, and again, they're very easily to store, and you can use them for portfolio, for examples of your note-taking skills. These are examples what people have done. Again, this is from I did not dream up all this material. This is from some websites called History Alive. But you can see the drawings on this one. Somebody wrote a poem on the right-hand side here. Caricature. Put the information there. and you can see they call it picto words here, silhouette, whatever, especially in science, it'll be drawings. Quite often it'll be some type of graph will go in there. This just goes through all the different types that you can do: posters, charts and graphs, advertisements. If you want to write a cartoon about it, again, you can look at all these on yourself here as we go through these. Again, I did not come up with this myself. This was sources where I picked this up from. So hopefully this will help you a little bit on this whole idea of an interactive notebook. So until next time, we'll see you later.